What's Gucci party people? It's your girl Nicole Banister, aka NIKKI BANZ, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Today I'm interviewing Vafa Naraghi right here on NIKKI BANZ Live! Hey yo, what's good everybody? What is good? How are y'all doing today? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are. Y'all gotta tell me in the comments, okay, where y'all at? Are y'all in La La Land just like me? Are y'all coming in hot from South Africa? Are y'all tuning in from Uzbekistan? We got my Niger boys in the building. Where y'all at? Okay, Dice Jones, I see you. What's goody? We operating Cape Town in the building. What's up? I love to see it. Your favorite Tuesday interview series is back in action. You already know the vibes. NIKKI BANZ Live every single Tuesday. I'm interviewing your favorite actors, rappers, dancers, comedians, journalists, entertainers, content creators from across the globe. And y'all know I took a little break, right? Y'all know that like most of 2024, I actually haven't done NIKKI BANZ Live, but I was like, I'm back in LA. I'm in like the city of angels. I was feeling hella creative and I was like, nah. I need to come back for the September special, okay? The September special where every single Tuesday of September, I'm bringing you a piping hot interview, okay, with some of your fave people from across the globe, okay? The first Tuesday, we had world-renowned poet Safia El with us. Last week, we had the Scene Palestine team bringing the incredible Palestine Film Festival to LA. And today, we got the one and only Vafa in the building. I see that he's here. What's up, Vafa? I'm gonna bring you on in just a second, okay? I love that we got all the South Africa homies in the building, okay? Ridwana's like South Africa. We got Letian in the building representing Kenya and South Africa. I know y'all excited to see the boy today, okay? It's gonna be amazing. Thank you all for being here. I am so excited to pop this interview off today. And this is gonna be vibes. It's gonna be fun. Vafa is joining a long history of comedians who have pulled up to NIKKI BANZ Live, including one of our favorite Black and Persian comedians, Tehran. Okay, shout out to the boy. Okay, so this is gonna be a good one today. This one's gonna be lit, okay? And I am so exciting. I'm so excited to have y'all all here and to chop it up. All right, I'm your hostess with the mostest, NIKKI BANZ. I will be leading you through this interview for the next hour. And we have the one and only South African comedian Vafa in the building. Yes, I see Dice in the chat saying Vafa is Mr. Passport, traveling two-time award-winning comedian. Okay, Vafa, you got the fans in the building. Let's not keep the fans waiting any longer. Okay, I see we got Mzukisi in the building. Okay, what's up, Mzu? Welcome to the party. Welcome to NIKKI BANZ Live. All right, I can't keep y'all waiting any longer. Okay, it's time to bring on Vafa. Let's do it. Let's get it lit. Here we go. Eight. Well, hello there.
Where's the sound effects?
I know. I don't have the sound effects today, but I got them in my heart just for you.
You need to get up to speed. You need to get up to speed.
Literally, I do. I don't know if I should be saying Dumelang Lekai or if I should be saying Salom Aziz. What should I be saying?
You learned a bit. You learned a bit when you were in South Africa, didn't you?
I learned a little something in Yani. You know what I'm saying? A little something.
Dumelang Lekai ma.
Hey, Nakisha, bueno Juan.
Oh, that's not bad. You stayed in Lesotho. Where were you?
I was in Limpopo. I was in Hamasimula in Limpopo for 2.5 years. You know, so I learned a little sped.
Okay. Did you date a Spedi guy?
You know, that is classified information, Vafa. Not to be
I
told
feel like
on
this
Instagram
is not
Live.
clean. Is this camera clean?
Classified. That is classified information.
Got you. Okay, now it looks like an iPhone because before it just looked like a Samsung.
Hey, you're looking fresh, my guy. You're looking
in the house.
Fresh.
Chris Mystery.
Huh?
No. Somebody's Limpopo's commenting over here.
Oh yeah, Limpopo.
Chris is seemingly from Limpopo.
I love it. I love it. And I love that we both have this little Persian persuasion. We got the South African, the Mzanzi masala. We got all the vibes. You know, like that's the vibe right here today.
Masala's Indian, but okay, fine.
So what's wrong with that? We international, we multicultural, we worldwide. Mr. and Mrs. International, no?
Okay, fine. We'll give that to you. What's happening? How was your day?
My day has been good so far. I mean, it's early for me here in LA, La La Land. You know the time difference. You were just here. So, you know, it's early still before noon.
Yeah,
I'm vibing.
The jet lag, the whole vibe. I get it.
You know, I know you get it. How has your day been, Vafa?
It's been cool. One of my really good friends was had a little bit of an accident. Thank God, it's just a miracle. He's good. He's fine.
Okay.
But I can't say too much. But crossing fingers.
Okay.
Other than that, I had some coffees. I had some croissants. You know, the usual.
Some coffee and some croissants.
some croissant. But they don't make it the same how they make it in Paris. Okay. They don't.
You gotta tell us. You gotta educate us. For those that haven't been to Paris, you know, obviously I've been, but I don't know if everybody's been. You gotta educate us. How do they make the croissants over on that side?
It's just the right proportions of butter and flour. Just the perfect, like 51% butter and 49% flour. Yeah.
I love that. I love that very specific ratio. That's the engineer in you. You gotta get the numbers right. You gotta get the ratios correct.
Exactly.
Well, Vafa, I have to say it's such an honor to have you here on NIKKI BANZ Live. And I always like to start off the interview by telling folks how we know each other. And so we never met in South Africa.
We don't know each other. We don't.
Never seen you before in my life. We never met in South Africa. I came to one of your shows in SA. We never met, but we had a lot of mutuals in SA. And then when I saw that the boy was being flued out to La La Land to come, you know, hang out with Netflix, I was like, let me slide into the DMs and be like, hey, yo, do you need a young homie in LA? And we spent the day together, kicking it, going around. You know what, Vafa, you know what you're never going to believe? That Arby's that we went to, that crazy Arby's, it has been turned into something else now. So it's like a whole new
The one that closed down.
The one that was closed, but the lights were still on. It has literally, it's something new now. So I think you got the last ever photograph when it was the OG Arby's. Like,
have they removed all the signage?
They've removed it. It's like a new shop now. So you got that last picture. So that's like, it's antique now. It's vintage.
I did tell you the story about the first place, one of the first places my dad worked when he came to America was washing dishes at the Arby's. So it's so crazy for me to be able to, like, or maybe not that specific one, but one in LA.
Yes. And that is just an incredible story. And it really speaks to, you know, your parents on the come up, okay, and everything that they've given you the privilege to be able to do today as a comedian and as an entertainer, which I want to get into, okay? Because there are so many things about you, Vafa. There are so many things that you could identify as, so many different cultures, so many different things on your resume. When you meet somebody brand new, somebody who doesn't know you, how do you introduce yourself?
I'm a human being. I'm a human being first and foremost. I think it's so difficult. I think I introduce myself to people based on what I assume they can understand. Oh, sorry, not understand, but based on what their world looks like or what their view looks like.
Yeah.
So, for example, like if I'm in South Africa, I can tell somebody I'm Tswana, but like if I have to explain that in the States or in Europe, it's a bit weird for them. They won't completely accept it or get it because they just know things the way they know things. So it's largely actually governed by what I perceive the limitations are to their world and what they perceive. But I think the most open-minded people, I would tell them, I'm Tswana, that I'm a human being. But yeah, it's largely dictated by what I assume the other person's reality is, or like a realm of what is possible to them.
Right. And for me, that's the marker of you being this incredible cross-cultural chameleon, right? We can drop you into Kenya, we can drop you into Tanzania, we can drop you into France, drop you into the United States, and you're able to mold your story to make it so that someone can understand, even if they don't know anything about anything, they can understand a little bit more about you. And I think because you have such a dynamic history background, you've worked in so many different places and spaces, you can fit that mold. You can create your own mold in any space that you go to.
Yeah, like an international homeless person.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're like, am I from here? Am I from there? My parents are from here. My mom's from here. My dad's from here. That's how I feel. I'm like, those are all different answers. Talk to us a little bit about how you first got into comedy, because you were doing a lot of things in life before you embarked on this full-time path of being a comedian and content creator and entertainer.
Yeah, well, I was an engineer. I was what like every Persian parent would have dreamed of their kid to be. So I was doing that. I was building bridges, breaking pipelines, fixing potholes. That's what I did, and I think I was just a little bit frustrated. I didn't want to do the work anymore, or like the work environment, because it was like highly capitalist driven, and I just wanted an escape. I think that's the short answer. So I started comedy as a hobby. I didn't know anything about comedy. I didn't even like comedy. And just because the barriers to entry were really low, like you didn't need a degree to be a comedian. You could just start it. So I started it, and I convinced other people. I told other people it was my dream, but I lied. It wasn't. I just wanted to escape from something, and then 2 years later, 2.5 years later, COVID hit. A lot of other things happened, and then I started believing the things I told people that it was my dream. So I started believing the nonsense I was telling people. So then I fell in love. So it just goes to show that you can learn to fall in love with someone. So if you're unhappy in your relationship right now, don't worry. Wait for 2.5 years. Wait for a global pandemic. You're going to fall in love. Trust me.
I feel like falling in love with a career and falling in love with a person are two different things.
Why? Because sometimes we fall in love with a career so we can get money. And sometimes you can fall in love with somebody who can give you money. It's the same thing.
Same. You know,
Exactly.
just same. The feminist in me is like, do not wait 2.5 years in your whack relationship. Okay? Like, get out. Khamba, get out.
We say in Kosa, nyamezela. You must just like be strong. Please.
I have to say though, I love what you said about basically telling people that you were something and faking it until you made it. Let's be honest. And I think that's the creative jump. That's what it was, right? That's the creative jump that a lot of people need, to just be like, you know what, I'm going to tell the world that I'm this thing, and until it actually comes true.
I know you're from Los Angeles, so I know you, Kendrick. I know they're not like us vibes, but like Drake, I think one of Drake's quotes a couple of years ago is like, okay, cool. You know, people underestimate that the statement, fake it till you make it. Like, a big part of it is that you actually have to make it. Otherwise, right, you are just faking it all the time. So I wouldn't quite say fake it till you make it to everybody, because it may not happen.
Yes, but you did make it. So it worked out in your favor.
Yeah. Well, I did. Yes. I mean, yeah.
And I have to say, I got to give a shout out to your Persian parents, because I think the reality
this is all me. This is all me.
No credit. No credit to Mama and Papa June. No credit.
Give it to me. Okay, tell me.
My Iranian mother watching this is going to be commenting, being like, yes, credit to Mama June, okay?
Does she watch it?
And look,
does she watch all of your lives?
She does watch all of my lives. She loves the lives. Like,
she believes in you and these things on the internet.
She does. But that's what I'm saying.
Soul.
These are the parents that work their butts off to make it so that we could explore creative careers, right? And I think that's the thing with a lot of people of color globally with a lot of people who are immigrants. Your parents were immigrants to South Africa. My Iranian mom was an immigrant to the United States. Like these immigrant parents, they have to work so incredibly hard to help us have a dream that we want, have a career that we want. That's why I got to give a shout out to Mama and Baba, like, because they set the foundation for you to be able to go off and do your thing, but you have to get that engineering degree first. Classic.
But I don't if they, I don't think they see it that way. I know they set up the foundation for us to be able to do or to dream, because like with my parents, you tell them, oh, this is my dream, that like you do that at night,
yeah,
not during the day. So for them, it's like so beyond their world to say, oh, let's follow your dream. Like that's not for us. That's not for. So I don't even bother. I do get like what hard work and everything that they've done for me to be able to do what I do, but I don't think they share the same sentiment. They would still rather I have an engineering degree so I can buy pizza every night for a family of four. That's what they want.
Classic.
I was
parents.
supposed to have like 4 kids by now.
Yeah. Yeah. How's that going?
Hectic. At the moment I'm on negative. I'm on negative 1 kid. I'm so far away.
That is too funny. But you know what?
What's the pressures like having your younger brother get married before you?
You know, I actually feel very grateful that my younger brother got married before I did, because now I actually feel like the pressure is off. You know, all those conversations about, oh, we need grandkids, you know, now I feel like I can just be like, you're going to get grandkids. They're just not going to be for me, you know?
Do you want kids?
At some point, someday, at some point, I do want some kids. But at least for right now, I'm like, my little brother has got it covered. Like, alhamdulillah, like, thank you for getting married before me.
I don't know how spicy your mom is, but like my mom, I got to study for 6 months in Sweden, like during my mom now a couple of years ago, and I was in Sweden, and she called me up and she's like, hey yo Vafa, I finally figured you out. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, what's that about? Like, so she's like, yeah, I've got 2 younger brothers.
Okay.
One's 2.5 years younger than me, the other one's 8.5 years younger than me. So she's like, I finally figured you out. You just follow your brother's examples. So I was like, okay, what does this mean? She's like, your brothers studied their masters, so they did their masters before me.
Okay.
And then I enrolled in my. So she's like, your brothers studied their masters, you study your masters. Your brothers studied abroad. Like one went to UC Berkeley and the other one went to UC San Diego, so both in California. And then she's like, okay, now you're studying abroad in Sweden. So like you're following. So she's like, don't worry about it. I'm not going to ask you any more about when you're getting married, because I know as soon as one of your younger brothers gets married, then you're going to get married. So now I was just like, okay, there's a lot of shade. I was like, cool, mom, are you done? Can I go back to the snowballs and stuff in Sweden? Like, can I go do that? And she's like, oh, one more thing. So my program was supposed to be 6 months long. She's like, one more thing. When you come back to South Africa, just carry on being you. Be the person you are. And I was like, okay. She's like, be the person you are. Keep following the footsteps of your brothers. Your one brother's got a really good job, so I suggest you go and get a really good job as well. I'm like, what?
Wow. Well, the shade is so real. I suggest you too go and get a really good job.
So, and then it was so like patronizing, because she's telling me, she's like, be you, be the person you've been. Like,
right.
Just continue.
The follower. So you gotta tell us though, have Mama and Baba ever been to one of your shows?
Yeah. They were actually at the same show you were at.
Oh. Wow.
You're talking about the one in December at the theater in Cape Town.
Yes, that was the one. They were there?
They were there because, like, also forcefully, because I was graduating the morning of, and then in the evening I had a stand-up comedy show. So they were coming for my graduation, and they couldn't go stay at home because nobody was going to be at home. So they were forced to come to the show. Otherwise, they weren't going to have any place to go. So they were forcefully sitting there. But that was like such a insane thing, because like early in the day, I get my master's degree given to me at the university, and then in the evening, I even came with my gown to the show. So it was almost like, listen, I've given you your stuff. That's your degree now. This is what I'm going to do. So I don't know. I think sometimes my parents are liars. I'm not sure. They're nice. They're nice people. So they said they had a good time. I wasn't sure. They're such nice people. Yeah. But they were like, yeah, it was cool. But they're so polite. They are so polite. I don't know. One day I'll hear about this. One day I'll hear about this.
Yes.
My mom also, like, she doesn't follow any of the hype.
Okay.
She visited India earlier this year, and she's like, oh, there's so many people in India that are following you. And I was like, okay, cool. So what did you tell them? Did you say thank you? She's like, no. I told them that all of you guys are following him, but I'm not following him. And I'm like, Mom, is that even necessary?
Oh, she said, hold up. She said, thanks for following, but it's not going to be me.
But he follows me. He said, so I was like, is that even necessary? Yeah.
I just feel like for anyone who knows anything about Persian parents, like this is hitting somewhere deep. Like this is hitting somewhere so deep. Like,
but I think it's actually a broad-based black and brown thing. I mean, I think it's accentuated with immigrant parents, because you get into a country and they're like, you need to be better than everybody in the world, like
right.
So exactly. So definitely immigrant parents of color are just like, nothing impresses them. Nothing impresses them. You could bring the moon down in the backyard and they'd be like, no, it's too small.
Yes. What did Mama and Baba think about you being flued out to Los Angeles working with Netflix? What did they think? Did that qualify? Did that make it?
No, not even. My mom. So I had booked flights for a family wedding in India. So I was going to go to India to go for a family wedding. Flights booked, everything booked. I was going to go with my mom and my brothers. And then and then the Netflix call comes up. They're like, listen, we'd like you to go to LA. And then I told my mom, I was like, listen, whatever the flights were to, let me see if I can try and change it to another time. But I'm sorry, I'm going to Los Angeles.
I gotta go.
Yeah. Joe Biden needs me.
He called me. Call Air Force One. I'm getting flued out.
So I told her, okay, and I told her the whole thing. I was like, I'm going for a premiere of Beverly Hills Cop. They want me to go as a South African comedian to Los Angeles. And then, so I explained the whole thing to her, and then she's like, cool. So then I get calls from my uncles and aunts, and one of my uncles stays in LA. So he was going to go to the wedding and then come back. So he's like, hey, yo, what's going on? Because your mom isn't explaining this thing properly. It doesn't make sense to us. So I was like, what did she say? She's like, oh, Netflix is flying him all the way to Los Angeles to just watch a movie there and then come back. I'm like, hater. And then she's not wrong. So, and then she even has the audacity to tell me, she's like, Vafa, why do you need to go there to watch the movie? Surely you've got a Netflix subscription. If you don't, use my logins.
Yes.
We can even VPN when we're in India, and you can watch the movie there. Yes. You don't need to fly over there to go and watch the movie. What's the big deal? And I'm like, what?
Mama's
She's
like,
not wrong.
Aren't you on the family plan? Aren't you on the family account? I'll just give you my login.
She's like, I'll pay for your data. She's like, what's the issue? What's the issue over here? Why do you?
Data.
She's she's like, it for her, it didn't make sense, and she's not wrong.
Yeah.
I guess she was.
Yeah.
She was wrong.
Tell us, Vafa. You have been traveling to so many places lately. Shout out to all the fans all over the world.
You need some sound effects. Why don't you have sound effects?
I know. And you know what? Normally I do, but I would like, it's been a busy morning. I can't lie. I'm sorry. I did not pull out all the stops for you. Maybe we have to do this again sometime when I have sound effects. Like, are you about to pull them up right now?
No. I'm just seeing what options we have here. It seems we have filters, but no sound effects.
I got a little AI. Like, I gave a thumbs up earlier. I got a little AI, like, thumbs up. I don't know if that's going to go. I don't know. That's all I got, But it's okay. We make our own sound effects. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But I was going to ask.
You asked me?
You have been traveling all over the world. You were here in La La Land. You've had shows in Kenya, Tanzania, and France, and all these places. What country has really stuck out to you, and why?
Okay, go to these countries for this year or when? Or just like my whole life?
In life.
Let's just, okay, well, I'm going to Kenya like now in a couple of hours. I'm going to the airport.
Oh, wow.
And
Safari in Gemma.
Asante sana. Oh, I need to get my Swahili back. But East Africa, I must say, I have a Tanzanian band, I've got a Kenyan band, but I've just taken it off. Mm-hmm. I love East Africa. I think there's as South Africans, we don't know too much about the rest of the continent, but it's so nice to travel and then see the similarities and also see the differences. It's so beautiful to learn from, and so welcoming. I feel like Kenyans and South Africans are exactly the same people. Same amount of crazy, same amount of we have fun in adversity. I remember there was a Kenyans will go and protest during the day and then go and celebrate in the evening, just like they're just having fun. Taxes will rise, but they're still having a good time. South Africans, I remember there was a bomb scare in Sandton, and this was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't know when. And then there was a big bomb scare. They were like, "Oh, there's a terrorist attack," and then they didn't find the bomb. And after 2 days, it was the weekend. And they were like, "Oh, let's go." They had parties, and they call it, "Let's celebrate the attempted terrorist attack." I'm like, wait, like any reason just to find a celebration. So I think I love East Africans. The same amount of crazy, and I love that. So it feels like it's definitely second home. So going back to Kenya is always exciting. I can't wait to see my friends. Enjoy the food, just interact with the people. Amazing. So that's dope. I think my two other trips this year. Paris, I've been there twice before, and it was really cool not being a heavily tourist in Paris. So just like relaxing as if I'm a Parisian, having my poisson, having my baguette. Oh no, that's not how you pronounce. How do you pronounce baguette? I just said baguette. I don't know what the rules are.
I don't speak French. Yo hablo español, so I don't know.
So it was also like Olympics. I was doing a lot of stuff for the South African Olympic team. So that was so dope to mix that patriotism with Paris and the country. So that was dope. So that was more relaxing. But I think this year LA stood out quite a bit. I think I was a little bit also, there's a lot. I hadn't been to Los Angeles in 20 years. So the last time I was there was a long time ago. And I think more than anything, I felt like my cup was filled with inspiration. It just, especially in my line of work, and Los Angeles being almost the birthplace of comedy, or maybe a large extent the nurturing ground for a lot of comedy beginnings and showbiz, and just to come in proximity with the scale at which people are doing it, you just things can be sometimes scary, especially when you're doing the arts or you're doing something that you dream about. And being in South Africa, I would look up and be like, whoa, this is like unachievable, and like it's just too much. And just a one short trip to Los Angeles just made me look back and be like, what am I afraid of? Like, this is definitely achievable. All the scale and everything that you talk, and it's not achievable like 10, 20 years from now. It's achievable 3 years from now. You have nothing to be afraid of. These guys have done it. They've shown it can be done. So in that sense, like filled with inspiration, filled with motive. And of course, I like a lot of my purpose is driven on the continent. I want to be a Pan-Africanist comedian. I want to speak to the continent. I want to be an international voice that speaks through the continent. So it's a lot of, for me, traveling is a lovely thing for like perspective. If it can fill your cup of inspiration, if it can show you tools of like how you can get to places, then I think those are beautiful trips. Those are beautiful trips. Yeah, and I guess the vacation things as well, those are pretty nice as well. But that's just, just for you to recoup. But that specifically, I think that LA trip was quite a standout one. I hadn't planned to go to LA in, like, I was like, oh, at least not for the next 3 years or something. So
and then
which is
there you were.
Yeah, beautiful opportunity. Shout out Netflix. Papa. Shout out to my mom. Papa.
Yes, shout out to mom who allowed you to not go on the India trip, to come to LA instead to just watch a movie. To watch a movie. But honestly, Vafa, a lot of the things that you said really resonate with me. I love how travel is this driving factor that opens up creativity, that opens up new possibility and new inspiration. I agree completely with that, and like have been so grateful for the privilege to be able to travel to different places, to explore different cultures and different experiences. But the other thing that particularly resonates with me about what you said is about being this Pan-African comedian and connecting the continent through comedy. And as someone who is part of the African diaspora, being raised in the United States, but having lived for, a decade in South Africa, this Pan-African movement is now. That the moment is now. And it's beautiful to see folks like you using something as playful, as creative, and as easily understandable as comedy to connect the dots between South Africa and Kenya and Tanzania, and all these places that on the surface we feel like we're so different. We feel like we have different languages and different religions and different points of view, but actually, we are all one Mama Africa. Why is it important for you to continue to like spread that Pan-African dialogue and continue to create a Pan-African platform? Why is that in particular important to you?
I don't know, you said something interesting. When like you've spent some time over here, and you say that like the time is now. Why do you say that?
Say it again.
No, you say that the time is now. Like the time is now for like having this Pan-Africanist vision. Why do you believe that?
For me, I feel like, similar to kind of what we talked about earlier, I feel like our parents were our immigrant parents from all over the world, all over the diaspora, worked incredibly hard to give us a foundation to be able to go and be creative and to go and pursue our passions, whether within or without sort of this like capitalist system that we all work in. And I think that just as history has progressed over time, our parents had to do that. Like they didn't have the privilege or the opportunity to go and try and be creative or explore different routes that weren't all focused around creating a safe home, creating a stable home environment, like literally just safety, literally just surviving. I feel like our parents had to do that. And so they gave us the foundation to go and say, okay, we're going to go and break through a lot of that colonial legacy that says you have to just work hard and have a house and have a white picket fence and have a dog and have the 4 kids. So we are able to go and expand and say, actually, no, I want to go be a TV show host. I want to go be a comedian. I want to go be a film director. I want to go do all these things so I can share my culture on the broadest platforms in the world. And so for me, the time is now, because we actually have the financial freedom and the flexibility to be able to do that, and the language to do it, which we didn't have before, and the connectivity across the continent. Like I'm sitting here in Los Angeles, you're somewhere in South Africa about to fly to Nairobi, and here we are having this dialogue across cultures, across time zones. Like this wasn't happening in this kind of way 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So that's, I mean, I'm not supposed to be the interviewee today, but that's for me. That's what I would say. So I want to know what you would have to say on that.
Yeah, true. Okay, yes, the opportunity is here. I mean, yeah, and I got this from having to go to the States. Like the economic scale of the continent is, and that's just got to do with like the history on the continent, means to develop ourselves, means to grow economically. It's still, yes, as much as we do have more resources now, it's still a little bit, it's a difficult endeavor.
Yeah.
Having to mobilize people on the continent. There's also a lot of things that we fight against with respect to like the West and their view of the continent.
Oh yeah.
So their view of the continent is that this market doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
This market is useless. This market has no value. I've heard like behind, like in private spaces, people say that, like it's even like, for example, Instagram and TikTok are not monetized on. I stand corrected, but they're definitely not monetized in South Africa. But I doubt on the continent, and that's because those platforms have said, "Oh, there's no commercial value of here." But largely as well, I think our legislature on the continent is not strong enough for them to be like, "Hey, listen, you guys are benefiting from actually taking culture, taking genre." A lot of that is created on the continent. A lot of that is created outside the States. And the States just knows how to commercialize stuff. I'll give them that. They can make money out of anything.
Yeah.
Like look at Tyler now. Look at Amapiano as a genre. Look at Afrobeat. Look at Wizkid. Look at Burna Boy. Or look at a lot of even artists within the States come from outside the States. But I think the States, they're not only, primarily the States, because I think that's the biggest market in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They do a good job of making sure that people don't catch up to being able to monetize it or to have value.
Oh yeah, it's intentional.
And I don't know, so I don't know where that shift is going to come. Like even I think about it, like even if I'm a Pan-Africanist voice or an international comedian, you're not going to be, nobody's going to recognize you until the state says, okay, cool, he's cool. So like, I mean, Trevor Noah would have to have maybe done that to a certain extent, where he got the nod from the States, and then from there they're like, okay, cool. Now the world is like, okay, cool. He's cool. He's one of the good ones. So we can allow him in. But
so how do we break that? How do we change that narrative? How do we create a creative culture and a creator economy on the African continent in places like South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria? How do we create that economy and stand and say, we stand, like we are here. This is the African continent. We don't care whether or not the States has picked up. We don't care whether or not Europe has picked up. Like, how do we do that?
I don't have the answer for that, but I think that social media definitely has made the world a whole lot smaller and has given people access that we would have never got because it's not controlled media. It's not where people decide, hey, we like this, we don't like this. You're getting on, you're not getting on.
Yeah.
So we can show value. We can say like, oh, look, X amount of people actually really like this stuff.
Yeah.
So we're too big to ignore right now. So that gives us a platform. But I still think there's another layer, there's another gap um, where like if we need to be able to create platforms or avenues where we can own our stuff. Because right now, still, I mean, if Instagram decides they're closing tomorrow, there goes NIKKI BANZ live
Literally.
series. That's done.
Literally. I think about that all
So,
the time.
um, but the infrastructure is not there yet, or it doesn't exist. So if there's a techie out there, please help us out.
Mm.
But so literally in this short space of time, I just think about like how do I convert people from having to watch me on social media to come to my live shows, to be able to enjoy other aspects of me. How do they find me outside this platform that could disappear any day?
Mm.
So yes, I think the time is better now, but it's still not the best. But I think it becomes better with pioneers. So us, in many senses, we are the pioneers of this sort of stuff. Nobody, not too many people have done sketches and become big on social media. For this hasn't been old. It's just like maybe 8 years old maximum, which is very young. And then
Mm.
having to perform or do tours on the continent through this sort of growth. That's also like these are new. So these are new paths, and sometimes people meet me like creatives, young creatives, and they're like they're grateful on another level that like thank you for showing us that this is actually possible.
Mm.
But I won't take so much credit for it because I think half the time I don't know what I'm doing. So I some of it is by mistake. It's definitely not by purpose, all of it. But like I do appreciate, and sometimes it makes some of like the challenges a bit more comfortable to go through because you're like, okay, cool. I'm not doing this stuff in vain, and
Mm.
it is benefiting something. But still, it's still scary. I mean, these are
Yeah.
still scary endeavors. I'm going to Cape Town. I'm sorry, I'm going to Nairobi now. I have 2 shows on the weekend. Friday, Saturday. I'm really excited. Um, and I like, for me, this is absolutely crazy. I mean, I was in Paris and I decided on the Monday. On the Monday, I decided, oh, I'm here. I might as well have a show. I decided on the Monday I want to have a show on a Friday.
Mm. Mm.
So, and we filled up that bunker. It looked like a very dodgy bunker in the middle of Paris, but like we filled up a bunker, and I had to like tap myself on the shoulder and be like, "Yo, this is insane
Yeah.
that you can go to a different continent, a different city, and decide not even 4 working days, like 3.5 working days
Mm.
before you
Mm.
want
Mm.
to have a show that you're gonna have a show." So yeah, a lot of this is really crazy, but and and like sometimes a little difficult. So that's why these beautiful like LA trips or whatever is like super inspirational, and it keeps me motivated to be like, okay, I this dream of being a Pan-Africanist comedian or speaking through the continent to the world from an African voice, that's so important to me, and I'm like, this is valid and it's achievable. So yeah.
Mm. 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 I love that you said that these things are scary, but you still take the risk. It's scary to think, hey, I land in Paris on this day, and just 3 business days later, I'm going to host a show. But still, you take the risk and still you overcome. So, to everybody who's watching this right now, who is saying, like, I want to be able to take risks the same way that Vafa takes risks, for everyone who's saying this and saying, hey, like, I have this dream that I want to achieve, but it is daunting. It is intimidating. It is scary to go out and put yourself out there, not only on social media, which is its own beast, but also on literal stages in front of real people around the world. What do you say to people to help them take that same leap that you take when you decide to put a new video out on social media, or when you decide to step onto the stage in a brand new country?
This conversation about risk is that like it's crazy because me when I think of myself, I feel like I'm quite risk averse.
Oh.
But to the outside world, it's just like, whoa, what did he do?
Yeah.
So I was blessed to have my parents that were really cared about this education. Got my first degree, civil engineering, worked for a couple of years, did my master's in structural engineering. And then when I decided to just go and do comedy, I had a large amount or a reasonable amount of savings. I lived like quite a conservative life, so I was just like, okay, I can. So it was all hedged. I knew what I was like. The risk was very measured. And to some people, you could say there's no risk because I was literally banking on it. Okay, I've got like maybe a 3-year runway where I can try and monetize this thing. If not, then I got to go find an engineering job, and that would be easy, being like a master's level with like my experience, my work ethic, all of that. So I'm like, I'm gonna be fine, which is really comforting. I don't know how much of a risk that is. So I that did give me a lot of freedom for me to be able to do what I do. You know, there's this, I mean, saying about like, I mean, it's a lot in like on the continent where people say that people believe in like hope, and I think that is misplaced because, or faith rather. Let's talk about faith, not directly related to religion,
But just
but I
faith.
mean that aspect. Yeah, have faith. So have faith almost puts people in a position where you have faith about something, but just sit down and it's going to happen, and just have faith.
Right.
And there's a lot of like indoctrination and things, and people take advantage of this faith thing in different senses to make money off people's faith in this thing. And that for me is a little reckless because you're telling somebody, well, put some money in here, or just come wait here, or just come do this, and then this is going to happen. So for me, I had the faith together with a balance of tenacity, or like work ethic to get up and actually go do. Like, put the faith there,
Right.
and that's the last time we speak about it. Now you walk towards it.
Yes.
And I think, a lot of people would just say faith is going to happen. It's going to happen. So for me, like I'll always tell people, young creators, people who want to do this sort of stuff, that education is important. Go get that education, because for me, that degree and that master's degree just gave me the ability for me to think so laterally about everything. So even in a comedy career, there's a lot of structure that I apply to it from like an engineering perspective of how I think about what I'm going to do next.
Okay.
And that's helped me apply myself a whole lot better. So it's given me the tools to have like, I have this big dream, but I'm like, if you ask me, okay, I haven't got everything figured out, but a lot of the steps that I figure out is because I'm applying myself to figure it out, and not just like, I want to be this world comedian and then I'm just going to sit here and just wait for it. So this whole element of taking risks, of putting you out there and everything, yes, it's, sometimes it's just a leap, sometimes you need to overcome it. But I know I've digressed a little bit from what you had asked, but I think it's more important to have faith, have belief in what you want to do, and then apply yourself, like work towards it. You don't know how many times there's so many videos I have not released, I have not put out, or there's my own problems, but like there's so many times I look through something and I'm like, okay, cool, perpetually think it's not good enough, and then okay, edit this and work at it, and then sometimes I might think this is good and I put it out and I see, okay, it's not that great, and then I learn from it and I'm like, how do I improve it? So it's just like perpetually walking towards this thing. So yeah, I think intentional is also another good word.
Honestly, that intentionality strikes me so deeply. And if I reflect even on my own foray into being a host, a presenter, an MC, very, very similar story in that I had this, long career in international development and diplomacy. I decided that wasn't it for me anymore, but had a healthy savings account because I was like, this needs to be a calculated risk. I saw someone in the chat type calculated risk. I was like, cool, I have a savings account. So if I take this leap, I know
Well,
I have something to fall
like
back.
$5 can get you a lot of things in South Africa, so that's not a savings account. That's just currency.
Well, that helped. I mean, that helped on top of it. I had US dollars in South Africa. Yeah, that helped, you know? It definitely helped, right? That's that passport privilege right there. But it was the same thing. One day I decided I want to be a TV show host, and I just went onto LinkedIn. I changed my headline to say TV show host. And I had no TV show to my name, but I was like, all right, we're gonna work toward this. We're gonna manifest this, right? And for me, what you described is, you know, that faith and then taking those actionable steps. For me, that's the difference between prayer and manifestation. There's so many people who pray and they just put it out there to whoever their God or whoever their higher power is, the universe. They just pray and then they leave it. They sit on it. But for me, the difference between that and manifesting is that you say you want something, you put it out there into the universe, and then you take those intentional, tenacious steps to work toward it. That's the whole reason I started NIKKI BANZ Live. I was like, cool, I want to be a host, but nobody knows who I am. So let me just hop on IG Live, start interviewing all of my homies around the world, and let's see where that goes. And that was those actionable steps to put myself out there to actually become a host, actually book a show, right? And so I love that you said that, and I love that there's that intentionality there. And I think that's something that people need to be reminded of. Have those hopes, have those dreams, but also take concrete steps toward whatever it is that you're trying to do.
But yeah, also, I mean, manifesting is a tricky thing to do on the continent, because as soon as you manifest, you put it out there, then you're dealing with like witchcraft and stuff. So like people are trying to bewitch you as soon as you tell them you're manifesting towards something. So it's a whole lot more difficult on the continent to do that sort of stuff. But I got my ancestors in check now. They sorted out my problems. I get to go to LA, I get to go to France. So I got my guys that are like counter-striking this like other sort of witchcraft.
Yes.
So it's like 10 times harder to do things on the continent because bewitching is a real thing over here.
I will, Vafa, I will.
You're in Limpopo. You know about that. You know about that.
Can't say about Vafa. Can't say about. You took a loss. I know.
Like
I know.
Before you went to Limpopo, your hair couldn't spread like that, like the Moses thing. It couldn't do that. You went to Limpopo, bam.
Canete. Facts, Vafa. That's exactly how it happens. It's true.
I love your accent. Your accent is so perfect. It's so perfect.
I try so hard, but you know, living in Cape Town, they don't really speak Sepedi so much, so I have to, you know, I gotta keep it. Maybe I'll keep it up with you. You know,
you got sucked into the good life. You got sucked into the good life.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Vafa, we only have a couple minutes left. I just want to say, for those folks who are not following Vafa yet, literally go to the top of your screen right now on this IG Live. Click that little white arrow in the top of the screen. You can immediately go follow Vafa on Instagram, Vafa Africa. So make sure you go and you
tell them to send money. Send money. Send money.
Yes.
Send money.
And send money.
My enemy is
drop,
after me.
Drop the EFT info in the chat.
Send e-wallet. Send e-wallet. Send an e-wallet.
Just send an e-wallet.
Is there anything like that in America? Can you send an e-wallet?
Not an e-wallet, but we have Venmo. We have Venmo and Cash App, so it's like it's similar-ish.
I gotta get myself a Venmo account.
Yes, you do. You do. Get the dollar bills streaming in. No shade to the rand, but you know. Okay, Vafa. Last 5 minutes. Tell us what's exciting, what's on the horizon. How can people continue to support you and all the incredible work that you're doing on the continent and beyond?
I think what's immediately I'm going to East Africa, and then I come back. I was flirting with the idea of going to the New York Comedy Festival just to see what's up. So if I can find a gap, that's November. That's coming up soon. Now till December is quite busy, just like with shows and stuff in South Africa. But like next year, March, April, May, that sort of time, I want to do a tour of the country. It's still quite scary to me, but like I want to do a national tour, so comedy shows in almost every big major city in the country. and I think that's my immediate focus. A lot more on like social media sketches, video content as well. But yeah, just in a space of just working, and so comedy shows. So if you're in the country, definitely you need to come to my comedy shows. It's going to be dope. The dream is big. And after we conquer South Africa, then we go to the continent, and then we go to the world.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I am here for all of this. You got to make sure you give us those South African tour dates once you've got them. You're going to be traveling across all of
Are you going to come down? You better come to the Limpopo show.
Yeah. Nakiatla, I'm coming. I'm going to come. I'll come to Limpopo. It's been a moment since I've been to Limpopo, but, you know, I'll pull up just for you, just because you're my Persian brother, you know? That's why. Vafa, I'm so excited for you and all of the big dreams that you have that you will continue to accomplish. Thank you for inspiring me and for inspiring everybody through your comedy, through your shows, through your resilience and your tenacity. It's such a vibe to be able to talk with you and have a real conversation with you. We love a little comedy mixed in, you know, with some thought leadership. Okay, so I love to see it. And we're so grateful. So thank you for joining me here today on NIKKI BANZ Live. Any final words you want to share with the people?
Send me my In-N-Out burger. You promised me we would go. We didn't go. You lied to me. You lied to me. I want my In-N-Out.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it. I'm coming back to South Africa in November. You know, because you always gotta come for festive.
And American fast food is so crazy. It stays fresh like for days after. Do you know that I took a South African croissant to go and meet its family in Paris?
Yes, I saw in Tate Croissant.
Yeah, in Tate Croissant went to meet Monsieur Croissant. So now I want you to bring the original cows are from South Africa, the Brahmans, the cows here. I want you to bring the fake cow, the plastic one in the In-N-Out burger. I want you to bring it back. Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it. It's gonna last. That 16-hour plane ride from the U.S. to South Africa, it's gonna last. I'm gonna bring you an In-N-Out burger and some fries.
No. Hold the fry. The fries is trash. Keep the fries. I just want the In-N-Out.
I see my Maman June. As I told you, my mom is here on the live. My mom is saying next time in LA, she will buy you In-N-Out. You see that Persian hospitality right there.
There we go. You see, so that's integrity over there, 100% Persian. This is what happened with you and your mix. You just lost that integrity, and that's what we were even in the car. Thank you for her like allowing you to use a car. So
you know,
we were in a car and we still didn't go.
I know. It's next time. You just gotta come back to LA. You just gotta come back to LA. You know,
that's gonna be soon. So definitely sometime next year.
Yes.
I'm
gonna book you at the Laugh Factory. Let's go. We're ready for you.
Let's go.
Yes. All right, party people. This has been a NIKKI BANZ Live with the one and only Vafa. Merci Aziz Kene Bohili Kakudu Kudu. We are so grateful to have you. Thank you for the vibes and the energy today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, I appreciate you.
Today.
Flight to Nairobi. I hope all the team is coming out to support you over in Kenya.
Yeah. They're already going crazy, so it's gonna be dope.
They must. All right, everybody. This has been NIKKI BANZ Live with Vafa, your favorite Tuesday interview series, bringing you incredible conversations with some of the dopest people on the planet, just like Vafa. So tune in next time. Thank you, Vafa, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you.
Bye.